Up, nerd? Specifically, Lucas. Hey, man. Down with the old sick nasty, huh? All right, so here we go. We're going to continue talking about Ovid's Metamorphoses. All right, so last translation, what happened in the last translation? We basically got the whole gist of everything that's going on here. What's going on? Pygmalion? He does, and Emma loves that he loves a statue. Talk to us about that, Emma.
He's weird.
Yeah, why does he love his own creation? What a silly thing to do. What a wild concept that the creator would fall in love with his own creation and give it what?
Gifts and touch it all the time.
And touch it and kiss it and talk to it. Very good. Put it in his most dear place. What a nasty, disgusting person. We still have some lines? Okay, go ahead and take a look at those lines. Let's close it out. All right, let me go back for us. Hi, Luke. Are you sure we didn't do these? Oh, that's true. The bell rang. We were talking about. So, yeah, he calls it the partner of his bed. And
He rests her head on my things.
yes, he rests, Kala. You guys remember that? Yeah. Rest. It's actually neck. Kala is neck. Rests her neck. All right. And I would actually translate this so that he leaned ad clinata, reponit. All these words kind of have this resting sense to them, like we're finally having this union. All right, it's a very weird, I grant it to you for sure, Emma, weird marriage scene. Because remember, I talked about this in my mythology class as well. What in no way, shape, or form existed at this time in history? What concept about marriage did not exist at this point in history? Yeah, you don't get married for love. So we have what's so unique. We have all these stories like the Pyramus and Thisbe story, like this Pygmalion story. We have these stories where they would do anything to be united forever with true love. And that's what Ovid is kind of talking about. Ovid is a love poet more than anything else. But in Metamorphoses, he's uniting all these massive legendary myths and tales that control all the values and ideas of God, man, and self. And he's telling them in such a way that expresses more yearning for true union than all these ancient people had truly ever done. So that's what makes this so, I know it's weird, but it makes it so illuminating. It's like he can't help but desire and do something that no one else had ever done, creating a woman in its most perfect form that he could ever dream up. And because he did that, it doesn't stop there. The relationship goes deeper, and it goes deeper, and it goes deeper. It's like I talked to you guys about, I showed you all the ladder of love thing. It's just like that. You can't stop. Once you go on that journey of love, it never ends. And it's not the feeling, it's also a fear. Because once you start to have that, like I was talking to you guys about before, it's like once you have that conversation with a crush or someone you really like, and you find out that they like you too, something immediately shifts. It's almost like the frivolousness kind of is like ruined, and it just becomes weighty. Because now you're like, what do I do now? What's the expectation now? And then once you fulfill those expectations and you have this conversation about how those expectations were fulfilled, now it's like, now it's even heavier. Now it becomes more. How do I continue being that? And that's where, once again, like I was talking to the mythology class about, it's like, that's where the storytelling of love in modern America and in modern mind is so broken and has to roll credits. It's because it puts it out into this ideal form and then it cuts you away from it. And you don't see the end. And that's what made that movie, I can't even watch it. I don't even want to watch it. I've just heard people talk about it. Y'all heard of Marriage Story? It's got Adam Driver and it's Scarlett Johansson. And just like so freaking brutal. I'm not going to watch that movie. I can't. Like my wife definitely can't. And that's what's so funny about that movie. funny, meaning I don't have words for it. It's so antithetical to modern take of love. There was something that stopped that endeavor and that expectation, and right when that thing died, done. Or at least in the hopelessness sense of it. That's why I can't watch that movie, is because there's just no hope. It's just so far-fetched from creative life, intended creation for union. It's just this selfish ripping. And this is just not that. So it makes it weird, but it's also kind of dreamy. It's like he would do anything for this thing that he has sought after, dreamed up of, knows is real, goes against the vices of the people of a city-state. He knows that he can search for this. And once he starts to find it, he can't stop going deeper and deeper and deeper. And so he starts to do all these things. He lays her down in, and once again, guys, I've said stuff like this before, the marriage bed is so much more than just the ha-ha, tee-hee, honeymoon thing. The marriage bed for a long time is built, constructed, designed, and planned out. It's like, that is so massive. That's what makes in the Odyssey one of the most coolest things about the ending of that is that when Odysseus is reunited with Penelope, their marriage bed, which has literally been carved out of this massive tree that has continued to grow regardless of his absence in the Trojan War and in his Odyssey home, their marriage bed is still there growing. It's in this living tree, and that's where they're truly reunified. It's the coolest thing ever, dude. So this is all pulling with those ideas and those sort of metaphors and images. So lays her neck on the soft pillows, and then tamquam censura, rapona, all that stuff, just basically soft feathers as well, just as if she could feel them, censura, as if she could or would feel them in the future active participle. All right, so let's go and hop now into this new one now that we're thoroughly behind on time. All right. So here we go. And this is what's so interesting, and this is going to ring a bell with you, Emma, with the festival day of Venus.
Oh, yeah.
Because just like in Till We Have Faces, it's that same thing. They didn't call her Venus in the book. I mean, the Greek guy did. He would call her by her name, Aphrodite, Venus, but they didn't know her by that name. They still knew that it was a real presence, this divine drive that kind of has authority over the idea, or at least our idea, earthly and broken idea of love and beauty and union. But on this festival day, the festival day of Venus, Venerat, it had come in the pluperfect. The festival day of Venus had come. All right, and it's Calaberima. Calaberima. What's that mean? What? Well, it's an adjective, and it's got that double R in its stem, adding "imma" to it, so it's most popular. The most popular, and then Kypro Tota. Kypro is a place where we're finally talking about where he comes from, where Pygmalion comes from. What place do you think that is? Kypro. Cyprus. Electric. Good job. All right. And it's ablative of place, so you could just say in all Cyprus. The most celebrated in all Cyprus. Yep, the one right there off the coast of Tyre and Sidon. Which makes sense. Even geographically, he's making it make sense how he could give her such gifts. Shells and dyed things. And orbs. Those spheres are really, really expensive. So, scan through this next line to the next comma or so. But really, this continues on for a long time. You guys can see that this entire start from 270, I think it's all the way to down here at 276 is all one line. But let's just go ahead and take a look at this comma to comma section. What do y'all see in there? Considerant. This is a interesting verb. What does it mean? Collapse. All right, so think about what a festival day is. There you go. How do you honor God? What's the only way to get in touch with God? You kill things. Things must die. It's the only way. It's always been. Every civilization, every which where, every language, every idea, it doesn't matter. The thing that everyone understands is if you want God to listen to you, stuff has got to die. Doesn't matter if it's a God of love and beauty. Doesn't matter. She's not going to hear you if you don't kill for her. So, what's collapsing? Had collapsed in the pluperfect, meaning the festival is like already underway. The what? No. We've got an animal in there. Heifer. What are heifers? What? They don't necessarily have to be babies. They can be fully fattened, full grown. They just have never what? Never had a baby. Pure. All right? And even the color. What color do you think? Niwea. With snow white, what? Kurwika. Neck. All right? Having been iktai. Yuwunkai. Induktai. So we have a lot of beautiful poetry being used here to explain that this has already gone down. What are these words? What's induktai? It is a perfect passive participle. What do you think it means, induktai? Having been let in, and they've already been iktai. They've been what? What'd you say, Amy? Striked? Yeah, I guess that could be. Yeah. No, it means like cut. Do you guys understand what I mean? Because they're the sacrifices. You know how they would kill them, right? Always bleed them out. As much blood as possible. The more blood, the more clean. Same ideology in every civilization. The more blood, the more clean. So you guys basically got it. And yeah, the covering thing that you guys are looking for is they're covered in gold. So these sacrifices, listen to me say this. These sacrifices are ushered into the city, and they are praised as they are ushered in. Always. It's always been the case for everything, for every civilization. Covered in gold, regarded as royalty. They're the purest sacrifice. Here they are, blood. All right, so the way that I got this translated, if y'all just need to have an easier one to write down. Heifers struck in their snow white necks had fallen, and then you can probably assume had fallen in what? Had fallen in death, yeah. With gold covering their bent horns. That's that part right up there. Their bent horns. All right, so we'll end there. We'll pick up tomorrow. All right, good work. Indirect questions, fear clauses. Luke, did you get all that? Just kidding, I didn't record it. But we'll talk about it later, Luke. Love you. See you, buddy. Where is it? Where's the thing? There it is. Avita Zane.